Now we're on our first proper spring forage, getting as much as we can. There's still not a huge amount of growth. Things are still slow, but so far we've gotten a nice chunk on it. We've got a nice chunk of cleavers. Cleavers are really good spring tonic, very good for your lymphatic system, for cleansing. Dandelion, good boy. We're getting dandelions. They're really good as well. Spring tonic, very good for your liver and your kidneys and for your blood, amongst lots of other things. Also, yeah, you can get the roots in a minute. I have got a few leaves here as well for drying for tea. We'll be infusing some in oil as well for muscle balm. So we won't be collecting dock now. In the autumn time we could collect dock root, which is good for making a winter tonic. What else are we looking for today? Plantain, but it's oh yes, look at, here we go. So the last field we're in, the plantain was really small, so we've got a nice. So actually, will you pick plantain, Lennon, in your basket?
Yeah.
So plantain, oh mother of all plants, is our #1 favourite plant in our house, isn't it? What do we use plantain for?
For nettle burns.
Nettle burns and fly bites and
for making the tea. No, for making the tea.
yeah, we make
honey.
yeah. Well, we can use dandelion flowers for making honey sometimes. So kind of a dandelion honey, and
these are little baby ones.
they are, and they're the perfect ones springtime, because in
Mommy,
springtime
you picked the
all of the good
weeds.
stuff, yeah, they're beautiful weeds. In springtime most of the good stuff is concentrated in the leaves.
Ow!
Whereas in the autumn time most of the good stuff is concentrated in the root. So that's why it's the perfect time now. So the lovely spring leaves, we'll put them into Lennon's one here, or just what we're looking for. We're going to dry some for tea for using throughout the year.
Get me one.
Oh, you want a basket? Yeah. Do you want to take my big basket? Because I have a big bag for nettles. Yeah. So yeah, you can. It's actually quite good for coughs as well. So you can make like a little cough. Suckus, I think they call it. It's just where you chop it up and you infuse it in honey. And yeah, that's really good, like a cough syrup. Or you could. There's other different ways for making syrups, but tincture is super easy. Super easy to do and keeps really well, and the leaves just keep for tea, so the tea is good for the lungs and from bronchitis and stuff as well, and it's natural anti-parasitic, so that's always what'd you get?
I got it under.
That's a plantain, yeah. So we're going to put the plantain in Lennon's basket, and we're going to keep the dandelions in your one, and the cleavers or the sticky weed. So yeah, the cleavers, I'm gonna put them in oil. That's a sticky weed, yeah. It just doesn't have. Yeah, it just doesn't have any of the little balls that it has later in the year after it flowers. So it's perfect time now if you want to make, if you want to juice it.
Mommy,
Yeah.
One day when Grandma was here, I put around down here and around down here, and then a mouth.
You get a smiley face with the sticky weed. That's so funny. So it's perfect time for making. So yeah, it's perfect time of year for cleavers. We're going to juice them. Good spring tonic. Perfect time for our dandelion leaves as well. So picking. Dock leaves, yeah. We've got some dandelion leaves in around it as well. And we are looking for, and we hope we can find, is chickweed. We used to have loads around here. You want me to take it?
Mommy, look.
But I want to get the chickweed because chickweed is really good for soothing irritated skin. Where? Let's see. I hope so. Really good for irritated skin, itchy irritated skin. So I had lots of people kind of asking me for remedies for that. So if I find some chickweed, we're going to make some chickweed and plantain salve or healing balm for sore itchy skin. So yeah, let's get picking. So chickweed looks like some dandelions here. What we also have loads of at the minute is lovely sorrel. Sorrel is around all year round, but like most things, probably the nicest in the springtime. And you can recognise it there by the big V at the bottom, or the little V. That's a good way to identify it. So sorrel is lovely and lemony. So if you chew on it, it just tastes like lemon. It's gorgeous. So that'd make a really nice addition to like a nettle pesto, or in your salads either. Yeah, we might pick some. You got a dandelion. We might pick some sorrel as well. If we have time, we'll do a pesto or just throw it into a salad. But the one thing about sorrel, it is quite a high oxalate. If you're sensitive to oxalates, like just very little of it. But we kind of generally, it's so nice and lemony, you don't need a huge amount. Here's some more plantain. Okay. Oh, mother of all herbs, plantain. Somebody recently told me that that's a little prayer that you say to plantain when you're going out foraging. I thought it was lovely. You got more? Brilliant. A bunch of it. Good stuff, I'm coming. Just another note about plantain. Whilst it's usually mostly the leaves that I use for insect bites and for irritated skin and rashes, and as a natural antiparasitic in teas and good for your coughs and stuff, you can also eat every part of the plant. So the little husks at the top right now in the springtime, see they're all quite dark. You can pick them and fry them up, and they have kind of similar texture to mushrooms. And then when they start to flower, then all the lovely seeds are really good for constipation and stuff. The root, I think the Native Americans used to use it as a tonic or as a remedy for toothache. They used to chew on the root. So there's loads of different benefits to this beautiful, very useful plant that I found out recently as well. Is apparently one of the 3 Triassic plants alongside horsetail. Now I knew horsetail was that old, but I had no idea that my favourite herb, plantain, was also one of them. Just listening to that wind, even just the process of coming out and picking the herbs. Half an hour in, we've that much already. Just listening to the sounds in nature. There's birds everywhere, the wind going through the trees. It's so good for you. It's a really lovely process, coming out here in nature, connecting with the nature as you're foraging for your medicine and your food. So from the beginning to when you consume it and when you need it for medicine, you've been connected, I suppose, connected with the earth the whole time around. Okay, so this is only just, let's see if I can see better this side. That's better. This is only about 45 minutes. We have half a basket of dandelion leaves. Just myself. Got half a basket nearly of nettle tops. So the nettles, like you're just pinching the top off, just the tops of the plant. Are probably one of the most nutritious things grown wild. They're really high in minerals and vitamins, and this time of year they're lovely, the spring tops. I dry them for tea, but also put them into everything you're cooking. They taste nice and they're really good for you. Really good spring tonic, good for high blood pressure and low blood pressure. Like a lot of herbs, it has a really balancing effect on the body. And look here, my plantain is totally overflown, so I've actually just come back to change up some of my baskets. And no, has got me loads of dandelion roots there, and there's more leaves. I just have to wash them once, give them a really good scrub and see how much root I have. And I've got a big lump of sorrel. There's so much sorrel growing in the field that I'm actually going to take a chunk of it and put it into the front garden here in the flower bed, so that whenever I want to go out and pick it, it's quite close by. So look at very minimal effort. That was a real stroll around the fields. Nothing too vigorous or anything. It was just really enjoyable, and already I have that much. So easy. I'm going to make some dandelion coffee out of them roots, I think. And we'll use a mixture then for doing our dandelion tincture. A mixture of the roots, the leaves and the flowers, just to get all the goodness of the whole plant. Now, off we go. We're going to just empty these out, and I'm going to concentrate on just getting a load of nettles now, I think, because they dry so easily as well. So I'm just out in the garden here where we've got some really old apple trees. It's an old orchard, and we used to have vegetables grown here beside it, but in recent years it's been taken over with ground elder. So this is ground elder, and it's been such a pain because it has just outcompeted everything else in the area that it's been really hard to grow vegetables. Now we are actually digging up an area over there again, and we're going to plant some potatoes. And I never, for some reason, because it was such a nuisance of a plant, never really took much notice of it for medicinal uses. And I know it is edible, but I was looking it up recently, and actually it's quite a good spring tonic. It's good for achy muscles and joints and likes of pain from rheumatism, arthritis, and might make quite a nice infused oil for my muscle balm. Reminded me a little bit like actual elder. This is not related to elder, but when this is springtime now, so the leaves are really young. It's the perfect time for picking most of these types of plants. But as it gets towards the summer, a little white flower, just like the elder flower, will grow up on it. The whole plant won't grow much higher than about a foot really, and you get a big cluster of white flowers like elder. And the leaf as well is not dissimilar to elder, and that's where it gets its name. So I think I might actually pick some of this. It is absolutely everywhere, so let's use what has been given to us. Maybe muscle balm, who knows? Just listen to those birds. So I'm just finishing up for the day, and just on my walk here. Lovely wild strawberries. They'll be just lovely, really tiny but super sweet, and I just imagine they'll probably be more packed full of nutrients than the commercial ones. So we've had a great day foraging. So far I switched to a box because my basket was just not big enough for all the dandelion and nettle mostly, and there's still loads and loads here for all the insects and the bees in particular. I took very few of the flowers because there isn't a huge amount of them out, mostly the leaves, and still left plenty. So we'll go and wash these out, and well, I'll leave them first for a while in case there's any little insects that need to crawl away, and then I will give them a quick wash in just water and a little bit of cider vinegar, and just dampen them with a clean towel, and just lay them out and let them dry. The nettles are super easy to dry. Same with the dandelion, they dry really well. Plantain is a bit more finicky. Some of these things I'll just be wilting for a day or two and adding to olive oil for infusing the oils. And look at them, they're so lovely, all the primroses everywhere. And some I'll be adding vodka to for a tincture. So I'll be doing that with the plantain and the dandelion. The nettle is just for tea, the cleavers are for oil, and just when I get back into the garden I'm going to grab a huge bunch of ground elder, and I'm going to dry some for tea, and I'm going to wilt some for an oil. So it's been a fabulous